Everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Sleight, which is a very small budgeted, I guess, science fiction blend with a coming of age drama. And I saw the trailers, I was really interested in this. This film has a $250,000 budget, which pretty unheard of with a film released in theaters, and it's also from WWE Films, which I'm a huge pro wrestling fan, and I thought that was funny that this was produced by them. And I was very interested in seeing this. It's gotten some pretty decent reviews, and overall, it's a pretty average movie. And I thought it was actually pretty impressive for what they had going into this and putting this all together. J.D. Dillard is the director and also the writer of this film, and overall, it does a very solid job of bringing this film all together on a pretty low budget for a mainstream film nowadays. And I thought that looking at it, the visual effects in this film were actually really well done for the amount of money that they had, and I thought they used sound effects and mixing of different sounds to really emphasize what was going on in terms of, because in this film this young man can like levitate metal and stuff like that. I'm not going to get too in depth on how that is, because that's an interesting thing that comes about through this film, but how they brought that all together and were able to make that look realistic, I thought was really, really cool. And overall, it has a very driving pace. You have a sense that it's only an hour and a half film. I never felt bored during it, but I'll talk a little bit about where the story goes when I get to talking about the writing of this film. The cinematography done by Ed Wu, I thought there was some really good camera work and really good use of handheld cam with this film, since it was made on such a low budget. And there are actually particular shots that were actually very striking, and I was really impressed. And particularly scenes of violence, because this film gets pretty damn violent at certain parts, and there's some gruesome shots, but how they were shot and portrayed made them so much more effective. And on that technical sense, this film really brought it. What brings it down to average, what's the low points of this film, are the writing, the characters, and the acting. And if you look at the actual writing, this is a very interesting blend of genres, and overall I thought they did a really good job of balancing those two things. And overall, the characters don't have a whole lot of depth. Like, it's like this kid is a science genius. This kid is raising his sister. He likes magic. And overall, he's a nice kid, but he does bad stuff to get by and do things for his sister. His girlfriend in this film really, really bothered me from a character standpoint, because she was perfect. No matter what he did, no matter what he said, and no matter how many times she should have thought a second time about being with him, it was always, I'm always going to be there for you. I'll always stick by you. I'll give you all of my money. I'm just like, there's no tension there. And there could have been a lot of great tension that could have brought some more drama to this film. And they just choose to, she's perfect. She's a perfect girlfriend. But the thing is, there's nothing much to her. She's just perfectly there to be with him for everything he needs. And that's not really interesting or bring any depth to this film. And there is a point in the middle of the film, in the second act, where it kind of goes in a holding pattern, and you're just kind of waiting around for it to finally jump to that next step. And when it does jump to that next step, the sci-fi aspects of this film, they're hinted at very lightly, though, throughout the first two acts. And then, boom! It takes huge steps, huge strides to get to a point where it could have done that with a little more finesse and built up those revelations a little bit better. But when it does get to the third act, the last 20 minutes of this film are very tense, and you're on the edge of your seat, and were some of the best scenes in the whole entire film, and I appreciated that it built up to that point. Now, from the acting perspective, Jacob Lattimore is our main character in this film. There's points where I really liked him. The points I didn't was when I was supposed to be afraid of him and see his intensity, because I didn't buy it for a second, which is not a good thing because he's supposed to be building up to that point. And Seychelle Gabriel, who plays the girlfriend, she's there. She doesn't show a whole lot of depth as an actress. Also, doesn't barely anything to do depth-wise from a character standpoint. My biggest gripe from the acting is Dwally Hill, who plays this drug dealer, and it's a guy from Psych. Don't take him seriously. The only time I take him seriously is when he's acting like a little coward, and that's it. I did not take him seriously once for being a vicious drug dealer. Sorry, but that was really bad miscasting. Or maybe he had it in him, just didn't bring it, just wasn't directed that way. And the music was good, it fit the film very well, and that was done by Charles Scott IV. Overall, I really liked the concept of this film, and do they shamelessly set up for a sequel. They do. But the thing is, I like the idea enough, and that they brought enough pieces together for me to be interested to go see if they make a sequel to this. And to be perfectly honest, it's made on $250,000, and it's already made over $2.5 million domestically. I can see them throwing some more money at this, so I would go see the sequel. If you just wanted a small, quick, pretty interesting film to go see, and you're okay with the violence and everything like that, I would totally suggest you going to check out this small film Sleight, which I give a C.